This is, of course, a national project. The agreement includes a carve-out for federal environment laws, including an adjustment to the current federal tanker ban if the project actually moves forward. Less than half of those polled by Angus Reid seem to be on side with some of those changes. But remember, the federal government ultimately does have jurisdiction here. Let's bring in CTV political analyst Sharan Kaur, who's standing by. Hey, Sharon, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
All right, so it's been 24 hours now since the announcement has come out. Your take on how things are playing out?
Listen, I think it's a really big deal for Canada. It's a really big deal for Ottawa and Alberta. And I think we're going to continue to see different perspectives come out there. I do think that there is a bit of a shift in tone and tenor around social license, specifically given with why the discussions around pipelines are being had again right now. So, listen, I've talked to a lot of people from different stripes, and I've had different perspectives come to me around very pro-pipeline and people who are still a bit on the edge of whether or not they want to support it. I would say overall, from a business community perspective, from a national unity perspective, I think the general consensus is that this is something that Canadians need. And I think people are really appreciating seeing that Ottawa and Alberta is kind of in sync right now.
There is a narrative out there that it's very difficult to build anything anymore in Canada because there's always some group, some lobby group, some group of activists who try to stop anything. I mean, that's one take. There, of course, is a whole other side. It says that this could be very dangerous and damaging to the environment. The fact that nationally people support it, but in British Columbia, they don't. What's the takeaway there for you in terms of the politics here for Mark Carney?
I think there's for sure politics, and I think it's valid for people to have concerns. But to be really clear, and I saw a lot of this when I crisscrossed the country almost a decade ago when we tried to build Energy East, and kind of hearing what people's concerns were. Technology has come a long way. Construction of pipelines has come a long way. Environmental concerns are always going to be there, but there's also a lot of mitigation factors that can be put in place to prevent it. So I think we have to listen to people and their concerns, but we also have to look at what is the importance of this pipeline and why is it so relevant and what do we need it from a Canadian economy perspective. People are going to oppose anything, any project out there, someone is going to oppose it. We have to find a way to make sure that the folks in BC are in line with understanding what the government is trying to do, but also the government needs to remember that they need to do everything in a way that allows us to be environmentally sustainable, prevent any potential impacts to the environment and the community. And I think that's possible. Technology has come a really long way since the last major pipeline was built, and I think it's time that we actually have a serious conversation about what that looks like.
What about the fact that some coastal First Nations in British Columbia are saying there is no way this is going to happen? And I want to just read you a comment from their press release that they issued on Thursday. They say, "We have zero interest in co-ownership or economic benefits of a project that has the potential to destroy our way of life and everything we have built on the coast." That would seem to be pretty definitive, Sharon.
It is, and I'm not surprised by that. And again, respectfully, I think that it's important that those conversations be had. But this is not just about one community and one specific group. This is about the entire country, the entire economy, and our sovereignties. So at a certain point, we need to have these conversations about what might not work for one group, how does it work for others? And we have to get past a point where we're only making decisions based on one specific group. We have to sit down with them. You know, there's always a path forward, and I think that they're saying now that they don't want to have ownership in it, but I think once a dialogue is had and there's a potential of seeing what economic impact and benefit can come to that community and be done safely, surely there has to be a path forward, but we have to move past the point where it's if one group is against it, that means the entire country suffers.
Another question for you regarding Stephen Guilbeault. So this guy, and I remember him from my Montreal days, I mean, he was a leading environmentalist, part of this group, Equiterre. Later, he comes into politics, becomes the federal environment minister, no longer in that role, but now he is leaving cabinet, staying on as a Liberal, though, not leaving politics altogether, but has resigned from cabinet. Big deal, not a big deal. What do you think?
I'm not surprised by it. I would say for some people it's going to seem like a big deal and for others it's not. In my personal opinion here, I'm not shocked by it. I would say when you run as a politician, it's really great to run on certain principles, but we can't be one lane politicians. We can't have politicians who solely come in with one key focus. He was elected. Yes, he stands by his environmental background and his views on that. But at the end of the day, you also have to look at what is best for the entire country. And you can call it a principled stance that he took. But I would also say we have to understand that you can do more than one thing. We can build pipelines and be environmentally friendly. And I think that politicians have to be more than one-trick ponies when it comes to how they operate as politicians.
Last question. Do you think this pipeline is ever going to happen?
God willing, it does. Listen, I've been on the other side of when pipelines haven't been built, and I was in government when we got Kinder Morgan's TMX pipeline and took it nationally, and look at it now. It is working and it was built. So I think it is possible, but we need collaboration. But the biggest part of all of this is that we are working with Alberta as a country, and Ottawa is working with them, which is really important. And I think if people work together, anything is possible and things can get built.
CTV News political analyst Sharan Kaur. Thanks, Sharan.
Thanks, Todd.